Hi, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Namaskaram, Vanakkam. Welcome to the Sandhya Sangam Zoom show on this Sunday, 9th of November 2025. This is our episode number 196, and we propose to develop more shows as we go along. Well, Dharma, the way of life, is a subject which we have been reading from various sources, listening to various scholars and high level individuals telling us what exactly it's all about. Every time we read about Dharma or listen from some eminent speaker, we get to learn some new things. We get to get a new perspective and we try to put it in practice in our day to day life. Joining us this evening from Chennai is Swamiji Aravindan Ramakrishnan, who will be talking to us on the subject Dharma, laws of life and living. Definitely, we'll get to know something more about the subject in this evening. And welcome to the show, Dr. Swamiji. Well, as usual, begin the show with a prayer followed by the guest introduction. After the guest speaker will take on his completion, we will have an open session wherein we all can put our views, observations, comments, feedback, and even ask questions, which the guest will be more than happy to answer. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a summary and vote of thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kickstart the show. Coming up first is the prayer. This is Nimala Gopalakrishnan who will sing the prayer for us. Nimala Mami, please go ahead.
என்ன பேரும் தவம் யான் செய்ததறியேனே என்ன பேரும் தவம் யான் செய்ததறியேனே என்னையும் காஞ்சி முனி ஆட்கொண்டதேன் சொல்வேன் என்ன தரும் தவம் யாம் செய்ததறியேனே எம்பையும் காஞ்சி முனி ஆட்கொண்டதேன் சொல்வே என்ன பேரும் தவம் யாம் செய்ததறியேனே முன்னே மோராளின் கீழ் மௌனமாய் கை காட்டி முன்னமோராளின் கீழ் மௌனமாய் கை காட்டி சொன்னதை வாய் மலர்ந்தாய் சொல்லியருள் செய்ய முன்னமோராளின் கீழ் மௌனமாய் கை நீட்டி சொன்னதை வாய் மலர்ந்தாய் சொல்லி அருள் செய்ய என்ன பேரும் தவம் யாம் செய்ததறியேனே என்னையும் காஞ்சி முனி ஆட்கொண்டதேன் சொல்வேன் நடமாடும் தெய்வமாய் நாம் பெற்ற போற்ற வந்தவர் நடமாடும் தெய்வமாய் நாம் போற்ற வந்தவர் நான் நிலத்தோர் உய்ய தவயோகம் கொண்டவர் நடமாடும் தெய்வமாய் நாம் போற்ற வந்தவர் நான் நிலத்தோர் உய்ய தவயோகம் கொண்டவர் விடை தோறும் புண்ணிய வடிவம் பகவத் பாதார் விடையேறும் புண்ணிய வடிவம் பகவத் பாதார் மீண்டும் வந்தார் அவர் மேல் மலர்த்தாள் போற்ற மீண்டும் வந்தார் அவர் மென்மலர்த்தாள் போற்ற என்ன தவம் செய்தேன் யாமறியேனே என்ன பேரும் தவம் யாம் செய்ததறியேனே எம்பையும் காஞ்சி முனி ஆட்கொண்டதேன் சொல்வேன் என்ன தவம் செய்தேன்.
Well, we move into the next segment of introducing the guest speaker of the evening. Let me take the pleasure of introducing him. Well, Aravindan are fondly called as Swamiji or Aravindanji by his students. He is a thinker, researcher, and teacher of Vedanta. He had dedicated 30 plus years of his life to teaching ancient Indian texts. Aravindanji's journey began when he was 11 years of age to study of Vedic texts. These efforts eventually led him to the revered Indian sage Kanchi Mahaperiyava, the great elder, the 68th pontiff of Sankaramat, who took a deep interest to direct, guide, and orient Aravindanji towards structured study of Vedas and Vedanta. Influenced and nurtured by stalwarts like Haridas Giri and Swami Tapasyananda of Ramakrishna Mission, Aravindanji undertook the uncharted task of immersing himself in scriptural studies. His strong association with Kamban Kalagam deepened his knowledge of Ramayana and Dharma Shastra. Aravindanji pursued formal Vedantic education under the tutelage of Swami A. Parthasarathi for 7 years. He also holds a triple major in philosophy, psychology, and mathematics, which has enabled him to apply a unique blend of analytical rigor to the subtle study of Vedanta. Starting as a teacher at the young age of 20 in Pune, Aravindanji is a sought after international exponent in Vedanta. He travels widely across the world to distill the essence of Vedanta to people from all walks of life. He has delivered many lectures, courses, and keynotes at Institute of Higher Learning, corporates, and industry forums. His unique style of teaching complex text as a simple solution to everyday living has impacted business leaders, sportsmen, professionals, and members of the scientific community. His expertise, experience, and passion for Vedanta has guided many people around the world towards seeking wisdom and enlightenment. He shares his wisdom through regular classes, seminars, lectures, and retreats at major universities and organizations across the world. A beacon of inspiration for his students and wider community, Arvindan's life is a living example of transformative power of Vedanta. Well, this is a short interview about introduction about our guest speaker this evening. Well, it's now time for the guest speaker to take over, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, we'll have all a mic in mute status so that we do not disturb thought process of the speaker. On his completion, we'll have an open session. Swamiji, the floor is all yours now. Swamiji, the floor is all yours now. So you can
Thank you
start.
very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll start. The topic we chose for this evening conversation is Dharma, the law of life and living. In plural, it is called as the laws. The very foundational principle of the Veda, the very foundational principle of the religion, the spirituality revolves around this one word called Dharma. And if you look at the dictionary meaning of the word Dharma, you will find the meaning running into 3-4 pages. And it can be, and there are various interpretations of this word Dharma. There are various understandings of this word Dharma. Now we try to see the very fundamental meaning of the word Dharma and its relevance to the life, as in the application of dharma in the life. First principle, the definition of dharma. The very basic common sense meaning that people give for the word dharma is ethics, morals. The basic meaning, or we can have a multilingual, no, Subramaniam sir?
Yeah, yes.
இல்லையா
Sure.
தமிழ்ல கூட
Oh, தாராளம்.
தாராளமாக ரைட், ஓகே, சரி, அப்படின்னா வெரி குட். ஸோ the very common sense meaning of the word dharma is ethics and morals. Ethics and morals, if we take the meaning of ethics and morals for dharma, it cannot be called as a law, because the ethics and morals itself keep changing, and by definition ethics and morals must change. It cannot remain remain the same. Meaning, some part of life is dynamic changes, some part of life the law. Now the first common sense meaning of the word dharma, which is taken to be ethics and morals, cannot be called as a law. What is the example of ethics and morals? A simple example. Hundred years back, when father walks into the room, when father walks into the house, all the children will get up and walk out. I can't believe, I can't think my grandfather would have ever had a conversation with his father. I don't think so. அவங்க பேசிருப்பாங்களான்னு doubt தான். Because that there is no conversation at all possible. When the father walks in, everybody gets up and walks out. Between my father and my grandfather, some conversation would have happened. Some minimal conversation would have happened. Between me and my father, we had much more conversations. Between me and my daughter, the whole thing is changed. Now, at times it happens where I finish my meetings, I finish my classes. By the time I reach home, it will be 10:30. 10:10 ஆயிடும் வீட்டுக்கு போகும்போது. So as I enter the house, I can see my daughter sitting with the dinner plate on her lap. அந்த தட்டு காஞ்சிருக்கிறத பார்க்கும்போது, dinner have got finished 1 hour back. Still the plate is on her lap only. So as I am crossing and going into my room, she will tell me, Abba, அப்படியே சிங்க்ல போட்டுரு plate. Now I will also take the plate and leave it in the sink. Are we to say 100 years back fathers didn't love their children at all, and now only fathers were loving? Fathers were loving then, fathers were loving now. Expressions change. Now this expressions changing is what is the morals and ethics part of it. Now we cannot give this changing part to the status of a law. இப்போ இதுக்கு when father walks in, children should get up is dharman ஒரு law status கொடுத்தாக்க, today nobody is following dharma. I don't know, at least in my house my daughter is not following any dharma at all. Can we say that? We cannot say that. It means there are something that will change and there are something that will not change. So what we call as dharma here will be related to certain factors that doesn't change. It means we need a clarity to distinguish between what factors will change and what factors will not change. To understand dharma, again we need to understand three Sanskrit words. The first Sanskrit word is Puratana, ancient. The second Sanskrit word is Nutana, modern. The third Sanskrit word is Sanatana, eternal. There are three Sanskrit words. One is called Puratana. Puratana means ancient, old. Distinct and different from Puratana is Nutana. Nutana means which is modern. Distinct and different from these two is called Sanatana. Therefore, in this culture, we don't call it the word dharma, we give this adjective to the word dharma and we call it as Sanatana Dharma. It's neither Puratana nor Nutana, it is Sanatana. Therefore, we give it the title called Sanatana Dharma. And what is this dharma talking about? First thing, the meaning of the word dharma. It's not morals and ethics. Second meaning of the word dharma is, in a very broad sense, dharma would mean appropriate behavior. Dharma would mean appropriate behavior in each context. For example, we need to have this appropriate behavior in each context, because why do we talk about this appropriate behavior? Appropriate behavior is necessary only for a human being. Other species need not bother about appropriate behavior. Human beings alone needs to bother about appropriate behavior. You follow the difference? Other species need not bother at all about appropriate behavior. Meaning, if there is a very important meeting that's going on in the house, and if you have a pet at home, and if it feels like barking, no, அது குலைக்கும் இல்ல, அதுகிட்ட போய் you cannot say I'm in a very important board meeting, therefore you should stay quiet. Now it will not understand that. It means in their lifestyle there is no concept of appropriate behavior. Whatsoever impulsively they feel like doing, they will do. Now, in the context of a human being, we always say appropriate behavior is very essential, and that teaching this appropriate behavior is called dharma. And why appropriate behavior has to be taught? Appropriate behavior has to be taught because this is the foundation principle of dharma. It has to be taught because human being alone is free to select options, to make a choice. Because human beings alone has this freedom to make choice, we need to learn how to make a choice. Supposing if the faculty of choice isn't there, there is no question of right and wrong, appropriate and inappropriate, isn't it? Because human being has to make a choice, we are bound to face the consequences of the choice that we make. Again, dharma becomes very, very subtle here. Because we have the freedom to make choices, we are bound to face the consequences of the choice that we make. In the case of the other species, there is no choices. Because there is no choices, there is no conflict. Because there is no conflict, no stress. Mental health பத்தி worry பண்ண தேவையில்லை. They don't have to worry about appropriate behavior, right, wrong, dharma, education. None of it is needed for other species. Even though other species also live life like us. Okay. If you take, supposing if we were to ask, what is the What is the successful life of a buffalo? Vivekananda asked this question. I'm not asking, huh? He only asked this question. He said, what is the successful life of a buffalo? First, it has to be born, survive that survive the diseases of early childhood, grow into a calf, mature, adult, find a mate, reproduce, take care of them, and die. This, if a buffalo can do all these things, its lives would be seen as a complete, successful life. Now, if you take human beings' life also, there's no difference. If this alone is the comparison factor, yeah, but it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work that way. We all have choices to make. Because you have choice to make, inevitably the choice comes with a consequence. That consequence is what we call as karma. So what modern day people call as the law of karma becomes a corollary to the law of dharma. So dharmaன்றது law, அதுலேருந்து வர corollary-க்கு பேர் karma. Now most of the modern day, in fact, the Sanskrit word karma has gotten into the English dictionary and has become an English word now. ஏன்னா இங்கிலீஷ் டிக்ஷனரியில் போனால் அது இங்கிலீஷ் வேர்டு தானே இல்லையா? Karma has become an English word. I don't know how it became an English word, but it has become an English word today. Guru has become an English word, isn't it? You take the English dictionary, the last few years of modern English dictionaries has the word guru, management to guru, this guru, that guru, all that. So similarly you find dharma becoming a part of the Sanskrit English word. Here the word, they do not use the word dharma, they use the word predominantly karma. Karma means the consequence of the choices that you make. Other species don't have this problem at all because they don't have a choice. A lion need not sit and think, should I be a vegetarian or non-vegetarian? It need not worry. Why killing innocent? Why killing innocent animals? Why not turn into a vegetarian? A lion cannot do that. Similarly, a cow cannot say, grass that to dry grass also sometimes. Why not turn into a meat eater? Because I'm missing on vital proteins, isn't it? Meat has vital proteins, and if you don't take meat, you are missing on vital proteins. Why not eat? Now we don't. Now human beings has this capacity to make choices. When you make a choice, this is where the challenge of dharma comes in. When you make a choice, you can make a choice according to the best interest of yours or according to the interest of the collective. Again, I repeat, you all have to make a choice. No doubt about it. And choice inevitably comes with the consequence. Now, whenever we make a choice, now we will be in a situation. What is the situation that we will be in? I can make a choice considering self-interest, my interest, or I can judge the situation, act, make a choice in the best interest of the fellow beings. When you make a choice according taking your own interest into consideration alone, there is a consequence. If you make a choice considering the welfare of the other fellow beings also, there is a consequence. This teaching is known as dharma. This education, this teaching is called dharma. Another meaning of the word dharma is the law. In fact, Vedas uses the word dharma in the sense of the law. And most of the time, I use the word dharma in the sense of the law. That's why the type in the title itself we gave it as dharma, the law of life and living, because we take the meaning of dharma equals the law. By the word law, a few things are very clear. What are the few things that is very clear? What to do, what not to do. So dharma, the law has to tell you what to do, what not to do. The same law that tells you what to do, what not to do, also has to talk about the reward and the punishment. If you do what you ought to do, there is the reward. And if you do that which you are not supposed to do, there is going to be a punishment. Here comes the most challenging discussion. The most challenging part of it is, who decides what is the law? Who decides what is the law? Now, you can't say everybody can decide it by themselves. If everybody starts deciding by themselves, it's going to be chaotic. Neither it can be a human made, neither the law can be a human made law. Then what is this dharma, the law? This is where Vedas come in very beautifully and say, the law that preceded the creation, the law that governs the entire creation. So, dharma is the law upon which the creation itself sustains, happens. Therefore, the meaning of the word dharma comes from the root word dhr, to support. To support what? To support the harmony in the creation. Now we work backwards. Wherever there is disharmony, we will say there is no dharma. Individually, if there is disharmony, we will say there is no dharma. Disharmony in the family, we will say there is no dharma. Disharmony in the society, we will say there is no dharma. Disharmony in the entire creation, we will say there is no dharma. Now connect it to the previous point. Other species live in harmony by default. Therefore, there is no concept of conflict, adharma at all there. Because by default, they live in harmony. Human being having the capacity to make the choice, we make choices based on, most of the time we make choices on self-interest. When a choice is made upon self-interest, what are the consequences? When the choice is made upon the interest of considering the welfare of others also, what are the consequences? Briefly, I will talk about it. I'm assuming I can take up to 45 minutes now, sir.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
I'm assuming I can take up to 45 minutes to explain
Yes, please.
what it is. Yes. The strength of dharma comes from what? The strength of dharma comes from the fact that it precedes the creation. Symbolically, you will find in the Puranic stories, Brahma is the Lord Brahma, is the creator, and he will be having a book in his hand, isn't it? Maybe 100 years later, Brahma யாராவது புதுசா படம் வரைஞ்சா, how will they draw Brahma? Maybe with a laptop they will draw, isn't it? They drew Lord Brahma 300, 400 years back. So he will be having one bunch of palm leaves manuscript. What does it mean? Represents the book, represents the Vedas, represents the Dharma. It means the Creator created the world keeping Dharma as the guiding factor. Therefore, we say it is dharma that precedes the creation. It is not dharma, the law which is human made, man made. Because the human made, man made dharma keeps changing. All that is needed is 5-6 people to get together. That's all, isn't it? 5-6 people get together. Supreme Court க்கு 3 bench, 5 bench, 7 bench வச்சா போறோம். The law keeps changing. Now, we are not calling it as an irrelevant law. That is the human made law, which is not, we are talking in the same sense, we don't talk about dharma here. Because dharma means the law that guided the entire creation. It means it was there even before creation. Even before creation, this dharma came into existence. What is the proof to say that? Manusmriti, Abhastamba Sutra, all of them say dharma must stand the test of logic, reason, Vedas. It should stand the test of logic, reason, and Vedas. Now, we have to state how it stands the test of logic, reason. Okay. Was creation chaotic in the beginning and then human beings brought harmony to creation, or there is harmony in the creation from the beginning? The answer is creation was harmonious from the beginning. It is not that it was all chaotic and then suddenly intelligent species, human beings, we all came and then we brought in harmony. There are these beautiful documentaries, scientific documentaries that they come out with. And they say, what will happen if human species gets wiped out? What will happen to this world? A beautiful study. I don't know how many of you have read that. How many of you even know this kind of research is happening? They said, what will happen if human beings stop their activities? Okay, as an example, I will give you one reference. Beautiful documentary. That entire period of COVID from lockdown for 2 years was documented. David Attenborough and his group documented that entire thing in 5 continents. For 2 years, they filmed. One of the fascinating documentaries. And then they made it into 1 hour documentary. David Attenborough, தெரியுமா? Beautiful. One of the brilliant narrator, scientist. So, he started explaining what happens if human beings, because human activities came to a standstill. No, during COVID, what happened? All human activities came to a standstill. First thing, what are all he said? He said, the way the whales in the ocean produced healthy babies. The whale in the ocean produced healthy babies. How did they produce healthy babies? Because, you know, the ocean traffic, no? It's heavy traffic. And the whales communicate through their sounds. They communicate through their whistling, their sound. The sound of the ships interfered and they can't even hear each other. The whales couldn't even hear each other. As a result of which, they were in a complete confusion, chaos. So it was a whole lot of a problem was happening. When the shipping traffic stopped, you should see the documentary. How they proved that everything went back to harmony. In a matter of, at the end of the 3rd week, what happened? At the end of the 3rd month, what happened? At the end of the 6th month, what happened? One of the brilliant photograph in India that fellow caught. From Bihar, he could see the Himalayas very clearly. It means even today from Bihar, you can see the Himalayas. We are not able to see because of what? human activity. It means we cannot say it is human that brought in harmony to the creation. Harmony was there from the beginning. Human beings, because they can make a choice, they can disturb the harmony or through knowledge and understanding follow the harmony. Most of the time human beings disturb the harmony. Why do we disturb the harmony? We disturb the harmony because it doesn't suit our interest. And wherever it doesn't suit our interest, we violate. And wherever we violate, there is a consequence to it. What is the consequence? The consequence is what people are experiencing as worry, anxiety, stress. And nobody knows the reason, or whatsoever they think whatsoever they think as the real reason is not the reason. What is it? The choice. So dharma maintains the harmony in the creation from the beginning. And what is human being supposed to do? Human beings are supposed to understand this dharma and obey the law consciously. In order to understand the law, we need a buddhi. That buddhi in Sanskrit, in English, it's known as the intellect. That is where the first prayer that a human being gets introduced to is at the age of 6, 7. At the age of 6, 7, the human being gets introduced to the first prayer, and that first prayer is what we call as the Gayatri Mantra. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Dhi means buddhi. Dhi means buddhi, the intellect. What is the prayer? My intellect should be as powerful and as penetrative and as sharp as the sun's rays. Sunlight மாதிரி அவ்வளோ பவர்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கணும்னு is the prayer. This buddhi can be used to understand the scriptures and live a dharmic life, or this buddhi can be used to harness the nature, make life better. When harnessing the nature and making life better, way of using the intellect comes, that is called science. So science makes the life better. What is science making life better means? We are here sitting in the Zoom and talking. Which part of the world we are all sitting also, we don't know. At least I know I am sitting in China. I really don't know where most of the people are sitting and watching. Life has become that comfortable. Compared to this, what was life 50 years back? Compared to this, what was life 100 years back? The king who ruled the universe, இன்னைக்கு வந்தாருனாக்கா அவருக்கு ரொம்ப பொறாமையா இருக்கும் நம்மளை பார்த்து. 150 years back, the king who ruled the universe, who ruled the entire world, if that king were to come alive today, he will be very jealous of us. அன்னைக்கு கிங் கிட்ட கூட அவ்வளவு வசதி இல்லை. Today we have such a facility. So the king will tell us what punya you people have done. What good karma you all have done. What punya you have done to live such a comfortable, wonderful life. So you people will not know what sorrow, suffering, agitation, no? எவ்வளோ சந்தோஷமா இருப்பீங்க நீங்கள்லாம். We turn back and look at the king and say what? நம்ம என்ன சொல்றோம் அதே ராஜாவை பார்த்து, அப்படிலாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லை சார், வந்து பாருங்க தெரியும், அதை விட மோசமா இருக்குது இப்போ. It means the comforts have not brought about a quality to life. That's what we are trying to understand. A comfort is not bringing quality to life. pleasure is not happiness. Then dharma. That which gives pleasure is not happiness. But human mind has misunderstood pleasure to be happiness. Again, I repeat, pleasure is not synonymous with happiness. But the problem is pleasure is misunderstood as happiness. So anything that gives pleasure, we want it more and more and more because இவ்வளோ ப்ளஷர் இருந்தால் இவ்வளோ ஹாப்பினஸ், இவ்வளோ ப்ளஷர் இருந்தால் இவ்வளோ ஹாப்பினஸ், இவ்வளோ இருந்தால் happiness. Therefore, the human mind started making choices seeking pleasure. Dharma is not telling us seek pain. Dharma is not telling us instead of seeking pleasure, all of you seek pain and suffering. It's not saying that. Why? Because we are not designed to be in pain. We are designed to be in harmony. The Vedic prayer is not about Sukham. The Vedic prayer, the Vedic lifestyle is about Tripti. That's why even when we do the prayers today also, we don't say let them be happy. We say let them be content. We will not say in the way some of these very small percentage of Brahmins even today do these rituals and all that. Even in the rituals, they will not say, may them be happy, may them be happy, may them be happy. They don't say that. We only say, Tripyata, 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 Tripyata. Tripyata means Tripti. It is the pleasure will not give Tripti, the contentment. It is Dharma alone that can give contentment, irrespective of what you have or what you don't have. Therefore, the human life, the goal of human life is seeking contentment, Tripti, and this contentment and Tripti comes from Dharma. Only problem that human being has is, sir, contentment சொல்லிட்டோம்னா ஆக்ஷனுக்கு மோட்டிவேஷனே கிடையாது சார். ஏன்னா கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட்னா சும்மா உட்காந்துருப்போம்ல. From where people got the idea that contentment means you will not do anything. Because we have a wrong notion. What is the wrong notion? Discontentment is necessary for growth. Dharma comes and says it's a wrong notion. It's a completely wrong notion. Like for example, we carry so many wrong notions. One of the wrong notions in the afternoon class, one of the class in the afternoon, I was saying one of the wrong notion. Now, we have these big jargons nowadays, and everybody uses those jargons not even knowing what it means. We should work not harder but smarter. I said, unless you have worked very hard for 40 years, you can never work smarter. We should not work harder, but we should work smart work. Not what is smart? From where will you get it? Only through wrong notions we pick up. All these wrong notions that we pick up always will have one thing in common. What? Pleasure-seeking mind. Pleasure-seeking. Another wrong notion that we carry. Experience is the best teacher, sir. Experience is the best teacher. I say experience don't teach you anything. If experiences alone can teach us, Vedas are not required, discourses are not required, monthly satsang, 196 episode and all is not at all required. Why? We will know it by ourselves. Why? Because we all have had enough experiences in life, and those experiences would have made us a Gautam Buddha already. The fact that we are not, with all the experiences, we have not become Gautam Buddha means experience don't teach us anything. But then we have a wrong notion. Experience is the best. Experience is the best teacher. Wrong notions we keep having. One of the basic wrong notions that we believe and we train others also is discontentment is necessary for growth. The Vedas comes and says, if you are discontented, you cannot grow. Growth happens only through contentment. It's a very beautiful proposition that Vedas give, and it has been teaching us for thousands of years. Growth cannot happen through discontentment. Growth can happen only through contentment. Another wrong notion. Success is so important that in order to achieve success, you can do anything. Huh? Because there's a wrong notion. Success erases all wrongdoings. If you become the winner, whatsoever the winner does becomes the rule, becomes the law. Why? Because success erases all wrongdoings. Dharma comes and says, success will not erase wrongdoing. You must experience the consequence of it. The consequence of it is the price. And what is the consequence? Mental agitations, frustration, agony, anxiety. In a air-conditioned room with the most comfortable bed, in an air-conditioned room where you should be falling off to sleep, the human being is sitting wide awake after having 2 sleeping pills also. And matra சாப்பிட்ட அப்புறம் கூட the human being is wide awake. Why? The mind is not resting. That's why even when we wake up from sleep, we'll be tired. I remember one of the very big architects. We know, because we are in this field, we know some big names also. One of the very big architects in Indurlda. For some reason, I was meeting him, I think about 30 years back, this meeting happened with him. Venkat, நம்ம ராஜாராமோட பாஸ் அவரு. Can you believe? Such a big architect. Very ராஜாராமே இல்ல நம்ம ஊரு, and his boss architect. Meeting. So as we started talking to all that, he said, sir, இதெல்லாம் அரவிந்தன், இதெல்லாம் நம்ம அப்புறம் பேசலாம். I want to ask you something. I wake up in the morning tired, what to do? The question that he's asking is, I'm waking up tired, what to do? I said, sir, திரும்பி படுத்தும் தூங்குங்க, அவ்வளவுதான். What else can you do after waking up? I said, no, please tell me. I want to know. I said, I will tell you the truth, but you may not like it. But then I need your help, so I will pacify you till I get my job done. After my job is done, I'll tell you the truth, I said. I was laughing. I said, illa sir, solunga. I said, adharma, sir. That's all it is. It's a simple law, adharma, that's all. You may agree, you may not agree, because dharma is not a matter of opinion. That's why we call it as a law. Dharma is not a matter of opinion. I agree, I disagree. Partially, I agree. In this part of dharma, I agree. This part of dharma, I disagree. It is not a selective option. It is something that brings about the very positivity to life, the harmony to life. Having said all this about dharma, the last thing about dharma which I will want to talk about is the fundamental principle of dharma. All the dharmas that the scriptures talks about, like if you take the books on dharma, 5,000 books ஆகுது இருக்கும். என்னைக்கு 5,000 புக்கை படிச்சு தர்மா என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது? அதுல ஒரு காலையில கிளாஸ்ல கேள்வி வேற கேட்கிறாரு, உடனே தர்மா புரிஞ்சுக்கணுமா அவருக்கு? 5,000 books you have to read on what is dharma. Now all these 5,000 books of dharma evolves on a basic fundamental principle, just as all mathematics revolve around two basic functions. What are the two basic functions of mathematics? மேத்துக்கு ரெண்டே ஃபண்டமெண்டல் பிரின்சிபல் தான், அடிஷன் சப்ட்ராக்ஷன், அவ்வளவுதான். Multiplication is nothing but, do you know that? Faster way of adding the multiplication, faster way of deleting the division. Algebra much faster, equations much faster. So the basic function of mathematics is nothing but addition and subtraction. Similarly, if you go and ask what is the very fundamental principle of dharma, which is the law of life and living, the fundamental principle of dharma, the foundation principle of dharma revolves around one word called rina. That's why it's called rina siddhanta. Dharma revolves around the principle of rina. And the scriptures talks about the rina that we have and what we need to do every day. That's where the Panchamaha Yajna becomes a very important dharmic practice. Having spoken about, I need to tell you what is a law and also how to practice dharma. Now, the entire principle of dharma revolves around one principle called rina. Rina means indebted. It's called rina siddhanta. Indebted at birth itself. Indebtedness means what? What is needed for you, what is necessary for you is given to you. You must be grateful to it. First, you should be able to acknowledge it. Yeah, first you should be able to remember. So, dharma na 4 விஷயம் வரணும். Rina siddhantam, gratitude. English la சொல்லணும்னா gratitude. And this gratitude is a very poor, limited translation. We would still use the word rina only. Now, 4 steps in this. What are the 4 steps? You should remember gratitude, appreciate the value of this gratitude, acknowledge it, be responsible. Then dharma. First principle of dharma is the foundation principle of dharma is rina siddhanta. See, there are series of sessions we have done on dharma shastras. இங்க எவ்வளவு வருஷமா பண்ணின்னு இருக்கிறோம்ப்பா? I don't know for how many years we are studying this dharma shastra here. Now all this I am trying to give it in one word. What is that one word? Rina siddhanta. Gratitude. What is gratitude? Remember, all that is needed for you is given to you at birth. Second is this cosmic infrastructure that is given to you has a built-in harmony. You need not create a harmony. Be responsible so that you don't create disharmony. Be responsible so that you don't cause disharmony. You don't have to do anything to bring harmony. Third lesson is the proportion having given to you, having everything come to you, having the sense of gratitude. Third important lesson is the proportion of consumption versus contribution. Am I a consumer or am I a contributor? More and more you contribute, less and less you consume, that is dharma. More and more you consume, less and less you contribute, it is adharma. So the proportion of contribution versus consumption. Yeah. First time when I went to America, you go there, they give water in a glass which is 1 liter or full of. I told him, don't give me so much of water, quarter glass. அவனுக்கு புரியவே இல்லை. Then I said, no, you take it out. I will fill it, and I fill it only water. He told me, no, we have enough water here. I said, I don't worry about how much water you have. I will take water only that which I can consume. The whole glass of water, you have 2 sips. Rest of it is just going to waste. I have to be aware, consumption versus contribution. How to contribute? Veda give a very beautiful method called the Panchamaha Yajna. With this I conclude. Panchamaha Yajna, because the sources of gratitude, the sources to which you have to be grateful is 5. Pancha Maha Yajna, 5 noble acts, 5 great acts. Deva, Rishi, Pitru, Manushya, Bhuta. These are the 5 things that we have to contribute every day. Deva means God. Rishis means the sages who documented this knowledge for our benefits and passed it on. The Rishis. The third, Pitrus. Pitrus, not the immediate ancestors. Pitrus means the entire past. Because knowledge comes from the past, I have to be grateful to the past. Very difficult to be grateful to the past, because every present generation think the previous generation is slightly dumb, no? Isn't it? Every present generation will think the previous generation is not that smart. The previous generation is not that smart. Second generation is not, third generation, dumb, sir. Pitrus means being grateful to the past. Deva, Rishi, Pitru, Manushya. Manushya means fellow beings. Bhutani, other species. Other fellow species. Practice of Dharma is remembering these 5 every day and saying thank you. Thank you. For the first 3, Deva, Rishi, Pitru, you say thank you through thought and word. For Manushya and Bhutani, you say thank you through action also. The first 3, Deva, Rishi, Pitru, you say through thought and word. For the 4th and the 5, Manushya and Bhutani, you say it through action also. So when you are doing this Panchamaha Yajna, you remember the blessings that you have been showered with, and when you are grateful to the blessings and when you are dealing with the blessings responsibly, by default you will be blessed more. By default you will be blessed more. If the blessings have come to you and you have been irresponsible towards it, the blessings will be taken away. And when the blessings are taken away, human beings come back and say, life is unfair, sir. சார் தர்மாலாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது சார். அதுவும் இந்த காலத்துல கலியுகத்துலலாம் தர்மான்றது கிடையவே கிடையாது. சும்மா பேச்சுல தான் சார். எல்லாம் இதெல்லாம் கேட்க தான் நல்லா இருக்கும். இன் ரியல் லைஃப், இன் ப்ராக்டிக்கல் லைஃப், there is no such thing called dharma at all in practice. Why? Because the consequences of pain and misery and agony and frustration they experience in life makes them believe that there is no such thing called dharma. But the reality of life is what? More you do this 5 and more you follow dharma, you will be blessed. More responsible you are, more blessings will be showered on you. Irresponsible you are, the existing blessings also, the existing blessings will be taken away. Puranic stories symbolically call it as Naraka. The Puranic stories is symbolic Narakam nu solradhu. ஏன் சிம்பாலிக்னு சொல்கிறோன்னா உண்மையிலே அப்படி ஒரு இடம் இருக்குதா சார், அது யார் போய் பார்த்துட்டு வந்தாங்க, ஸோ இதெல்லாம் கதை மாதிரி தானே இருக்குது. Even if you don't believe in this Naraka as in as in a place somewhere, there is this thing called Naraka in the mental state as we are going through now. Dharma is not a solution to the human problems. Dharma is the law that we have to obey. Or violation of the law is the cause of human problems. With this, I conclude. Wherever the law is violated, the violation of the law will result in a consequence. Verse number 40, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Beautiful சொல்வார். நேஹா விக்ரம நாசோஸ்தி பிரத்யவாயோ ந வித்யதே ஸ்வல்பம் அப்யஸ்ய தர்மஸ்ய திராயதே மகதோ பயாத். Verse number 40, chapter 2. It's a formula verse, beautiful verse. நேஹா விக்ரம நாசோஸ்தி பிரத்யவாயோ ந வித்யதே. கிரமநாசம்ன்றதே கிடையாதுன்றார். ந இஹ கிரமநாச. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya. Swalpamna little bit. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya. In the dharmata, little bit you follow Arjuna. Trayate mahato bhayat. Mahato bhayatna, you will be protected from great fears, greatest dangers. The greatest problems in life will not be a problem at all to you. Why? Because you are protected. Therefore, the Vedic statement, formula, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. I have seen in so many houses, they write it and keep it on the board. I said it should not be written on the board, it should be written in your buddhi must be convinced about it. If your buddhi is convinced about it, you can never ever get tempted into adharma. Again, if your buddhi is convinced, you can never get tempted. Last story and I conclude for the day. During the Second World War, the English army was trying to infiltrate the Germans. They were trying to infiltrate the Germans, and the English could not infiltrate so easily. They came and told Winston Churchill that they are very patriotic, very difficult to infiltrate. Churchill said, nonsense. There's no such thing called patriotism. There's no such thing called patriotism. Find that fellow's price and pay. Everybody has a price. Somebody will fall for 100 rupees, somebody will fall for 1,000 rupees, somebody will fall for 100,000 rupees. If somebody is not falling for 100,000 rupees, they may fall for something else. But nevertheless, everybody has a price. That's where I come and say, Winston Churchill have not met real human beings, where they don't have price tag at all, where they will not fall for anything. They will not fall for anything. They cannot be tempted into anything. Why? Because their buddhi is so convinced about this law called dharma, and this dharma becomes the law of life and living. With this, I conclude. Thank you very much, sir. It was nice meeting you all. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Swamiji. It was a wonderful lecture given by you. A lot of learning, at least to be on a personal level. I got to know new things from your lecture. Let's listen what others have got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, an open session now. Over mic and to Solomon, please. Vijayalakshmi, madam, you can start.
நமஸ்காரம் குருஜி. உங்களுடைய ஸ்பீச்சு தர்மம் அப்படிங்கிற டாபிக் மேல பேசின பேச்சு ரொம்ப என்லைட்டன் பண்ணது எங்களுக்கு. உங்களுடைய பேச்சு இன்னும் நிறைய கேட்கணும், இன்னும் நாங்க நிறைய மெச்சூரிட்டி அடையணும் அப்படின்னு கேட்டுக்கிறேன். உங்களுடைய ஸ்பீச் நீங்க யூடியூப்ல சொல்லியிருந்தேன்னாக்க எங்களுக்கு அதோட லிங்க் அவர் சுப்பிரமணியம் சார் மூலம் அனுப்பினா கண்டிப்பா கேட்டு இன்னும் நாங்க மெச்சூர் ஆகும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிக்கிறேன். ரொம்ப நன்றின்னு தான் சொல்லணும், வேற சொல்ல தெரியல. ரொம்ப அருமையா இருக்கு சார்.
Yes, thank you so much, ma. I'll send to Subramaniam sir the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Sure, thank you.
Okay, next, Rajaraman sir. Rajaraman sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
அவர் அவர் இருக்கும்போதெல்லாம் நான்லாம் பேசவே மாட்டேன்.
Well, before
அவர்
Rajaraman sir
இருக்கும்
says
போதெல்லாம்
anything,
அவர் வந்து வீடியோல வரலங்கிறதுனால நான் பேசினேன். அவர் வீடியோல வந்திருந்தாருனாக்கா நான் ஏந்து நின்னுட்டு நமஸ்காரம் மாமான்னு சொல்லிட்டு உட்கார்ந்துருப்பேன் குவைட்டா. மாமா நமஸ்காரம்.
That is an indication of the humility and humbleness which the education has given you. See, purpose of education is served. You are an example for that.
பிறந்ததுல இருந்து நீங்க பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கீங்களா? He know you, I don't know whether you know Subramanian sir. He has been one of our motivators and inspire for the entire family. For anything they will bring his name and talk. And we have been doing it from childhood. So we have a different equation with Mama.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you, Aravind.
Thank you.
First of all, I have to thank you for immediately acceding to my request. Because as Subbu sir was telling during introduction,
Yeah.
you have a vast experience of addressing people of enlightened content in so many places. See, ஒரே ஒரு கூட்டுக்குள்ள மட்டும் பேசுறதுங்கிறது வேற, பல இடங்கள்ல பல பேரை பார்த்து பேசுறதுங்கிறது வேற. And you have got a very good tutelage under very high souls like JP. அதெல்லாம் அதுதான், that is what is making
Exactly
you to
correct.
give
Yes.
so much of lectures.
Yes, yes.
See, Lena, this is a very
Correct.
heavy topic.
Yes,
இந்த
yes.
ஒரு heavy topic வந்து within a period of some 40 minutes
Yes.
அதை கன்சைஸ் பண்ணி முக்கியமான விஷயங்களை மட்டும் சொல்லி கடைசியில வாட் எக்ஸாக்ட்லி இஸ் த டியூட்டி ஆஃப் ஹியூமன் பீயிங்கிறது பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா முடிச்சேன். அந்த பஞ்ச யஜ்யம்ங்கிறது எல்லாரும் பண்ணணும், எல்லாரும் அந்த வார்த்தையை கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பா.
Correct.
அதாவது ஹெல்ப் எவர் ஹர்ட் நெவர். ஜஸ்ட் 2 words சொல்லணும்னா ஹெல்ப் எவர் ஹர்ட் நெவர். எல்லாருக்கும் பரோபகாரம் இதம் சரீரம், அவ்வளவுதான். பிறந்ததுக்கு காரணம் வந்து மத்தவாளுக்கு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும்.
Correct.
That is the indication of success, and not our possessions like a car, bungalow, or anything else, a bank balance, everything. Of course, they are also very much required for life, no doubt about it. And even for doing good activities, they are all very much required. But whether that gives you contentment or bliss in life, it is very much questionable. What gives you bliss is something different.
Correct.
When you are useful to other people, not only to your kins and kith, but also to the entire world. அதுதானே முக்கியம் இல்லையா? சர்வே ஜனா சுகினோ பவந்து தானே. ஜன எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கிறதுதான் முக்கியம். நம்ம வசுதேவ குடும்பகத்தை தானே நம்ம பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் கூட அடிக்கடி பேசுறார். எல்லாம் யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளீர் சொல்ற மாதிரி நம்ம பீப்புள் சொல்லாத விஷயங்களே கிடையாது. தமிழ்லயோ சான்ஸ்கிரிட்லயோ இது வரைக்கும் சொல்லாத விஷயங்களை யாரும் எங்கேயும் சொல்ல முடியாது. யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளீர், அவ்வளவுதான், தீர்ந்து போச்சு, அதோட முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. எல்லாம் என்னோட ஊரு, எல்லாரும் என்னோட சொந்தக்கார அப்படின்னு நினைச்சிட்டோம்னா வேர் இஸ் தி கொஸ்டின் ஆஃப் டிஸ்ஹார்மனி? அந்த ஹார்மனி அண்ட் டிஸ்ஹார்மனி ரொம்ப விஷயங்கள் சிலதெல்லாம், அதாவது மேன் இஸ் மேட் ஃபார் ஜாய் அண்ட் பிளிஸ் ஒன்லி, பட் ஹீ ஒன்லி காம்ப்ளிகேட்ஸ் திங்ஸ். அதனால ரொம்ப ரொம்ப அருமையான பாயிண்ட் எல்லாம் இருந்தது. அதாவது என்னன்னா, world when it is created, it is full of harmony only, but we are very adept in making disharmony. That is our duty. நம்ம பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். எனக்கு 2 குறள் மட்டும் ஞாபகம், அதை சொல்லிடுறேன். விலங்கோடு மக்கள் அணையர், இளங்குநூல் கற்றாரோடு ஏனையவர். படிச்சதுக்கு அடையாளம், படிக்காதனுக்கும் படிக்காதனுக்கும் உள்ள அடையாளம் என்னன்னா, விலங்குகளுக்கும் மனிதனுக்கும் உள்ள அடையாளம். அந்த பாயிண்ட் you touched in the beginning.
Yes.
See, they don't have any law or something like that. ஜங்கிள் லான்னு அதுக்கு தான் தனியா அதை சொல்றான். அங்க வந்து தியாயம், நியாயம், தர்ம, எல்லாம் ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. அவ செஞ்சதுதான் இது. ஆனா because man makes his own choice. See, these are all trigger words. We have that sixth sense and we make lot of choices. There also God doesn't he doesn't kindle us to make anything. He gives the entire knowledge to us. You choose your own path and சொல்றார். And I choose a better path, the other person chooses a best path, somebody chooses the wrong path. See, அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு. And everybody has to suffer the consequences. முடிஞ்சு போச்சு, அதோட முடிஞ்சே போச்சு, லெக்சரே அதோட முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. அதை டெவலப் பண்ணி அழகா வந்து அதே மாதிரி ரொம்ப நானா இருக்கு. அது சொல்ற மாதிரி மனுஷனுக்கும் மிருகங்களுக்கும் நம்ம வேடிக்கையா சொல்லுவோம். ரோட்ல எவனாவது நடு ரோட்ல நின்று இருந்தான்னா எரும மாடு மாதிரி நின்று இருக்கானே அப்படின்னு தான் திட்டுவோம் இல்லையா? அந்த மாதிரி தான் திட்டுவோம். எரும மாட்டுக்கு தெரியாது நடுப்புற என்ன பாவம் நம்ம இடத்த அடப்போம்னு சொல்லிட்டு நிப்பான். அவன் படிச்சவன் தான், ஆனா அந்த இது படிச்சதுக்கான பண்பாடு இல்லை. அந்த மாதிரிதான் போயிடுறது. அதே மாதிரி இன்னொன்னு எனக்கு அடிக்கடி தோணும், அறிவினான் ஆகுவது உண்டோ பிரிதின் நோய் தன்னோய் போல் போற்றா கடை. அடுத்தவனோட நோயை நம்ம நோய் மாதிரி போற்றணும். அப்படி போற்றலன்னு சொன்னா எனக்கு கிடைச்ச அறிவுனால என்ன பயன் கேட்கிறார் திருவள்ளுவர். பயனே இல்ல. இன்னொருத்தர் அவ இந்த வைஷ்ணவத்துல சொல்லுவா, பிறரோட துன்பத்தை தீக்கிறவன் யாரு எல்லாருமே வைஷ்ணவா அப்படின்றவா. அவ அடுத்தவாளோட துன்பத்தை யார் யாரெல்லாம் தீக்கிறாளோ அவ எல்லாருமே வைஷ்ணவா அப்படின்பா. அதாவது அந்த அளவுக்கு நம்ம we must have compassion towards our living beings, not only human beings but entire living beings-ங்கறத அவ சொல்றா. அந்த மாதிரி அந்த இது ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. இன்னொன்னு ரொம்ப அருமையான உதாரணம் என்னன்னா, அந்த கொரோனா பீரியட்ல whales were able to give healthier babies. Beautiful. அண்ட் அதுக்கு ரொம்ப ஒரு மண்டேன் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து பீகார்ல இருந்து இமயமலை தெரியுதுங்கிறது தான். அந்த பொல்யூஷன் இப்ப கூட பார்த்தோமே 500 planes could not take off from Delhi airport due to so much of இதுதான் ஏர் பொல்யூஷன்னாலதான். அதனால நம்ம பொல்யூஷன் நம்ம we are greatest polluters of the world. பிளானட்டை எப்படியாவது கெடுத்துட்டு போறதுங்கிறத நம்மளோட ஒரே தீர்மானம். அது பண்றதுல எல்லாரும் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். அந்த அது ரொம்ப நம்ம இப்ப அட்டன் போறோம்லாம் அவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்பட்டு பண்றான் போறான் வரான்னு சொன்னாக்க அதுல இருந்து எவ்வளவு லெசன்ஸ் வருது. அதே மாதிரி எனக்கு அந்த ஹார்ட் ஒர்க் அண்ட் ஸ்மார்ட் ஒர்க் ரொம்ப இதுவா இருந்தது. நான் அதுக்கடி வேடிக்கையா சொல்லுவேன், அதாவது வித் ஒரு 40 years of hard work only you become an expert in smart work அப்படின்னு சொன்னது ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. ஆனா நான் வேடிக்கையா ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லுவேன். ஒருத்தன் கல்ல வந்து கையால தட்டுறான், அது வந்து இட்ஸ் a hard work. அதே ஒரு நெம்புகோல் வச்சு தள்ளினாக்க கொஞ்சம் it will be a little more smart work. You use the equipment or that which is required for doing a job in a better manner. அதுதான் அது. அதுக்கு again you need some intelligence. அந்த இது வேணும், இல்லைன்னா நடக்காது. அதனால everything trickles only to that intelligence. இன்டெலிஜென்ஸே கடவுள் கொடுத்தது, அதை மற்றபடி நல்ல வாழ்க்கை யூஸ் பண்ணணும், எல்லாத்துக்கும் யூஸ் பண்ணணுங்கிறதுக்காக தான். அதை வந்து அதாவது தீபத்தை வைத்து கொண்டு வீட்டையும் கொளுத்தலாம் அல்லது திருக்குறளோ படிக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு பாட்டு வரும். அந்த மாதிரி நான் வச்சு நீ எதை வேணாலும் செய்யலாம், எனக்கு அந்த ஃப்ரீடத்தை அவர் கொடுத்துட்டார், நான் செய்யணும் அதை ஒழுங்கா. அதுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் வேணுங்கிறது கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட், திருப்தி. அந்த வார்த்தையை எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்தது. கண்டென்ட் இஸ் ஹாப்பினஸ்னே சொல்லுவா. அதாவது கொஞ்சம் ஐ திங்க் தேர் இஸ் a small difference between contentment and complacency. காம்ப்ளசன்சிங்கிறது இட் இஸ் பேட். ஒரு ஸ்டேஜ்ல எனக்கு இதுக்கு மேல ஒண்ணுமே வேண்டாம் அப்படியே நான் கிடைக்கேன் அப்படிங்கிறது சொல்றது வேற. கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட்ங்கிறது அந்த நேரத்துல எனக்கு போதும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறது தான். அதுக்காக மற்ற ஆளுக்கெல்லாம் போகணும்னு நினைக்கிறது இல்லை. இப்ப இவ்வளவு சயின்டிபிக் இன்வென்ஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்திருக்குன்னு சொன்னா அவ எதுக்கு மத்தவா மாதிரி நானும் இருக்கேன்னு நினைச்சிருந்தாங்கன்னா இவ்வளவு சயின்டிபிக் இன்வென்ஷன்ஸ் வந்திருக்காது. சொல்ற மாதிரி இந்த ஜூம் ப்ரோக்ராம நம்ம பார்க்க முடியாது. they have suffered a lot. அவளுக்குலாம் அதுல திருப்தி கிடையாது. சில விஷயங்கள் நம்மளுக்கு திருப்தி கூடாதுன்னு தான் நம்ம சொல்றோம். இந்த யூஸ் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ன்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அந்த யூஸ் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் வேணும். அந்த மாதிரி அது இருந்தாதான் நடக்கும். கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட்டுங்க நம்ம வேடிக்கை ஆத்துல சொல்லுவோமே, நீ பரீட்சையில மார்க் வாங்குறதுக்கு பக்கத்து பையனை பாத்துக்கோ, அவனை நீ மத்ததுக்கெல்லாம் அவனை பாத்துக்காத, அதுக்கு பாத்துக்கோன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா. அதுக்கு கம்பேரிசன் வேணும், போட்டி வேணும், அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லுவோம். அது மாதிரி அந்த கண்டென்ட்மெண்ட் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. கடைசியில முடிச்சது அந்த நிஜமாவே பஞ்சமகா யஜ்யம் வந்து நிறைய படிச்சிருக்கோம். ரொம்ப இந்த முதல் மூணுக்கும் நம்ம வந்து we do it only by thought and word, but the other two we are doing with action அப்படிங்கிறது பியூட்டிஃபுல். ஒரு கன்க்ளூஷன் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. அதாவது எல்லாத்தையும் படிச்சிருக்கோம், தெரிஞ்சிருக்கோம், அதோட இன்னர் ஆஸ்பெக்ட் என்ன, அதோட ஆக்சுவல் மீனிங் என்ன அப்படிங்கிறது யாராவது இன்னொருத்தர் சொல்ற போதுதான் நம்மளுக்கே கூட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பெட்டரா அதை விளங்கும். அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தது. ரொம்ப ஷார்ட் டயத்துல ரொம்ப ஸ்வீட் அண்ட் வெரி வெரி தாட்ஃபுல் லெக்சர். தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் ஃபார் யுவர் இது. அந்த ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாமி சொன்ன மாதிரி probably you should have more occasions to give your knowledge to other people also. Wish you good luck. Thank you.
தேங்க்ஸ் பாபு. வி ஆல்வேஸ் ரிமெம்பர். இன்னைக்கு கூட சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன் சாயங்காலம், ஒரு வாட்டி சம்மர் வெக்கேஷனுக்கு தஞ்சாவூருக்கு வரும்போது டீச்சிங் நடக்கும். உங்ககிட்ட இருந்தா வில்லான் ஈவினிங் உட்காந்து வச்சிருவார் கிளாஸ்ல. எங்களை எல்லாம் சம்மர் வெக்கேஷனுக்கு விளையாடுறதுக்கு போறோம்னாக்கா உட்காந்து வச்சிருவார் கிளாஸ். எவ்ரி டே வி வில் சிட் அண்டர் ஹிம் ஃபார் கிளாஸஸ். ஈவன் டுடே வி ரிமெம்பர் தட்.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mama. Thanks. Thank
Nice.
you.
Shri madam, சொல்லல Bhuvneshwari madam. All right, we move in the final segment of summarizing the Patanjali proposing word of thanks. Mr. R. Subramanian will do the honors. Subramanian sir, please go ahead.
எல்லாருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். It's a very difficult topic to impart information and make it stay, because you can keep listening, but unfortunately nothing stays in your mind at the end of the lecture, even if it goes for a couple of hours. Yours has not been that way. We'll come to the details later a bit and whatever notings I have made. And உங்களை பற்றி மிஸ்டர் சுப்பிரமணியம் எங்கள் தலைவர் சொன்னப்ப, you are a great thinker, you are a researcher in Vedanta, you have met different diverse people in universities, colleges, which constitutes the intellectual crowd of any society, and they have accepted and they have listened to you attentively is a great certificate by itself. And we are fortunate to listen from such a person on a topic which is, I would say, it's not easy to deliver a talk on, because everything sounds the same. நீங்க சொன்ன சில important things I want to touch. My friend Rajaraman has already touched on many of the things, and of course his capabilities cannot be matched by anyone, because his wide experience, knowledge, and meeting with people has given him the abilities to make even hard things easy for the commoners to listen. நீங்க சொன்ன foundation of philosophy is dharma ஆரம்பிச்சிருந்தீங்க, and you said dharma is defined for pages and pages in dictionaries, because the more you define, take time to define, you can understand the complicated nature of the word as such. You said common sense meaning is ethics and morals. Of course, morals and ethics are pretty dynamic. It also depends on the society. It is a temporal issue and it keeps changing. You are very nice example of the children, the way used to behave vis-a-vis the children they behave these days. There are so many examples that are there. Yes. One, earlier when the elders do come to the houses, அவளுக்கு முன்னாடி நமஸ்காரம் பண்ணி அபிவாஸ் சொல்றது culture. Maybe about 50-60 years earlier, what we have seen. Now the boys and girls stay in their rooms, they need to be called, and they come, they nod their head and go. That doesn't mean they don't have much respect for the people. Exactly. The way in which they express has changed, and you have accepted. Many things that are there, what you said, the practice, collecting the plate of your daughter and putting in the thing is something which we don't think. First of all, ஒரு இடத்துல உட்கார்ந்து சாப்பிடுறதுன்னா you should sit in the right place. You should wash your own plates and you should take it at the end. எச்சல் பார்க்கணும், பத்து பார்க்கணும். You cannot receive it. They are all changing quite a lot. Yes. And hygiene is a word that has really replaced many of the HL Pattu these days. Yes. Maybe we have understood most of it, but as you have mentioned, Corona in some other place, many of the old Prachinamana Vishayangalna, how it makes sense in the societies, public health thing are there. We got to know about it during that time a bit more than we normally understand. And law is something which is written. Whatever you need to follow word by word, it doesn't have a feeling in that. Whereas ethics and morals are totally society oriented, totally individual oriented, and ethics have a definition that say what you wouldn't like others to do to you, you will not do it to others, is one of the basic definitions of ethics. Morals is something, the value system that is being imbibed in us, in our parents and society during the growth stage of your life. And law is something that forces you to do things. A violation of law can be proved, whereas the violation of ethics and morals is something which is a subjective thing. Of course, no society can run only on laws. It has to run on ethics and morals. And eventually, many of the ethical values and moral values to suit the society to a greater extent have turned into law over a period of time as well. This is the ground reality. You just said Puradana, Nutana, and Sanatana Dharma, which is Sanatana Dharma being questioned. It is just the way of life what we have been having. Somebody needs to drill these things to the people who have not understood it properly. And Dharma means appropriate behavior in one context. You cannot be defining it like that. And human beings have their own ways and means to follow this dharma, which is again a mixture of the values, law, ethics, and morals together, whereas the animals do what they feel like. And that is their dharma probably. When you want to eat something, we need to wait, we need to see, we need to appropriately conduct ourselves and achieve our goals. Whereas the animals just to do Russian and try to achieve, even somebody comes to fight it out, the human beings have a way to resolve, whereas their way of resolution is only using violence. And as Rajaraman was mentioning, jungle law is what it is, where might is the right. Okay, we have made choices, we have to accept consequences, probably. When you have been given the right to choose what you want, you are aware and to know what are the consequences. You better accept the consequences when you make a choice. And that was explained by you pretty well. And you talked about what is a successful buffalo's life. And consequences also, you said that is where you introduced karma. The karma is a corollary of dharma, what you said. Dharma is a part of the English word these days. And, you make the choice to suit collectively or individual. Dharma, you said you are using it as law. By law, we know what is what to do and not to do, and reward and punishment, what goes with the things. Who decides the law? Dharma comes from the word dhru, what you said. These are some of the explanations which one doesn't get to hear that easily. And adharma is the opposite of dharma. Human made law and not dharma. Dharma existed and harmony is dharma, what you said. Creation was harmonious and at the beginning. And what happens when no human beings on earth? You are mentioning, many of us would have seen the documentaries of David Attenborough's, probably the one you said we would like to see if it is available in the YouTube. And how we are spoiling the environment is what it was explained to you well. And you said Buddhi stands for Diyo Yona Prachodhyate and get a better life. Self-science makes the harmony possible, you said. And you said the example, the Zoom itself, does connect the things. Comfort does not bring quality of life. What you said, pleasure is not happiness. That most of us over the years of experience have really taught us. Human mind thinks what is happiness, what will it give us happiness. Vedic prayer is not about Sugam, but of Tripti and contentment. That's pretty nice, and we need to have a look at it. Rather than looking for Sukham, we need to look for Tripti. Wrong notion says discontentment is the key to happiness. When you are discontented, you try to do things and seek happiness. And experience is great, what we feel. You said that that is not the thing, and what is really needed is growth, and success erases all wrong things. Is a wrong notion, what you explained quite a lot. And what you said is an architect who is there in an AC room having had sleeping pills cannot get sleep because you had the guts to tell him what is not giving him his sleep is what adharma he has practiced and what disharmony he has created. And we went to the arena, the indebtednesses, and you said gratitude, appreciating the things, and then we talk about acknowledging and being responsible or critical things. Cosmic has all the harmony it has given. We have no business to disturb. Whenever we take something for consumption, we have the responsibility is to put it back. Even great people have said, when you take some water from the pond, you have the responsibility to replenish in some way or other. It is not that it has been given to you to enjoy. You are here to maintain the harmony. That is what you said. More of contribution is required and less of consumption is required. Then you can be sure you are in the right side of Dharma. The vice versa, you are not practicing Dharma, but the opposite of it, Adharma. And of course, the nations which are very rich, really spoil the energy. This habit is slowly coming among the younger generation when they have started using power without thinking of future is something which is disastrous. And what we have been taught as the school boys is whenever you don't need the light of the fan, you put it off, and that was done more as a duty. Nowadays, if the child leaves the things on, that means it has been brought in classy way, and children who put up the thing belong to the lower strata of the society. Wrong notions which need to be curbed over a period of time. Hope we are able to do that. And you said Devarishi Pitru, that is what we do by through thought and word we do, whereas Manushya and Bhutani we have to do by actions also. When you are doing Dharma, you are blessed. More responsible is you get more blessings, and less responsible you act towards the fellow human beings and practicing the Panchamaha Yajna, you are not practicing Dharma, what you said. So you not only said what Dharma's definition is, how to do that and how to practice it, you gave an easy way to follow. And, violation of law is, Dharma is resulting in misery. You gave a beautiful warning. Sulpa following will protect you from in a long way what you said. And your attitude, the attitude of Winston Churchill, this is not the first instance. Lots of things. He has interpreted the human behavior in his own way. And because many of his sayings has been successful, he had the habit of making not so responsible statements and giving his value system reflecting on the people. That is his style. And what you said earlier is what succeeds is the right way, is not wrong, and being in the right side of Dharma, which will ensure harmony, is important. What you gave examples of the whales is a classic example, is an undisturbed situation is always producing good results for the benefit of the society at large. And Rajaraman explained contentment and complacency, whereas contentment is required, complacency leads to laziness. I think whenever in Vedanta, whenever in our philosophical books, we talk about happiness and being content does not mean leading a lazy life, but be happy at all the time, because the man who is contented can alone contribute to growth is a beautiful message given by you. Thanks a lot for your time, sir. We did enjoy it and we look forward to more. Thanks a lot. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you, Subramanian sir, for the wonderful submission as always. Thank you, Swamiji, for your valuable time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the show. Recording will be uploaded to YouTube sometime tomorrow. Kindly check out and share the link as widely as possible. And that's a wrap up. All of us over here. Until we meet next, just wishing you all goodbye, good night, and Shubh Ratri.